I considered doing the whole November thing of like shaving off the mustache and then growing another one, but it'd be by about February. So this one's been
I don't know
for
if
a
I'd
long
move to, so
time.
I'm afraid.
No, it's weird. My top lip will look strangely naked for like 2 weeks. I look odd when I've shaved. Like right now, I'm comfortable with how it looks. When England lost the World Cup a couple of years ago, I went, right, I'm going to shave my stash off if they lose, and they did. Bald-faced fraud for like 2 weeks, so I felt really embarrassed, and then I don't even support England, so I don't know why I did
it. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, aren't you well?
Yeah, I got into it and it went poorly, so I haven't really watched sports as intensely as I have since then. But
wait, so have you made that promise to yourself now?
What promise?
Well, to shave off your moustache, because obviously rugby.
Obviously rugby.
Obviously rugby.
Yeah, rugby was bad.
Is it too soon to ask about the rugby?
No, I think we're gonna be alright. Okay. It's a very important topic, right?
It's so.
Is there a reason why you've still got your moustache?
With me and rugby, it really depends on the momentum of how things are going. So, for example, when Six Nations is on, if Wales does good in the first game they're in, I'm into it. I'm all in. I'm so prepared for it to I'm committed. I'm on it. Like I'm watching every single game. Like I'm stamping my feet. I'm crying. I'm screaming. I'm walking my dog in a huff.
This is very intense.
When it comes to the World Cup, there was so much going on, and also there was none of that momentum. So Wales did really well in the first game. I think it was against Fiji that I watched, and I was like, "Oh, this could be good." And then I forgot to watch the second, lost the momentum, and then they were out. So they were out, and it was all over. And I thought, well.
It was like a bit of false hope. It made it look like it would be one of those things where you would sit there being very committed, and then they just took that away.
Yeah. It was weird. And then England were out, and it was just sort of, if you don't have that initial sort of burst of, oh my god, this is really good, like they're going to do really well, it's...
All I know is that one of my group chats suddenly burst into action, talking a lot about rugby, and this is this is the roller derby team that I'm in. So these are all women who are super into sports because they didn't, once they found their sport, it was good for them. It was just suddenly lots of it, and then never again. It died.
You can really see how people get upset about it. You can see how it proper has an impact on mental health, because when they do well, it feels really good. It feels really good when your team's doing well, and oh my god, Wales is about to have a grand slam, and this is the best day of my life. And then when it goes badly, it feels like a part of your soul's being torn away, and you lose your mustache.
I'd like to say I wish I could grow a mustache. I do look actually quite good with a big mustache, but my natural mustache does not suit me. With Movember, I normally put on a fake mustache when I go for a Movember run, because there's a Mo run. But for obviously just to raise funds and awareness for prostate cancer. I haven't gone this year because I totally forgot about it. Time goes really weirdly now.
It's because they've got Christmas decorations out at the start of October.
Yeah.
That's what I'm convinced it is, because after Halloween it's just this mad rush for Christmas. You completely forget about November entirely.
But I think it's also just really hard, for me at least, to kind of remember November, because I try so hard to be mindful of men's mental health all year round.
Yeah.
Especially when, I've got 2 younger brothers, and I've got my dad and a lot of men in my life who I care about and, always want to kind of support. It's just something that I try to be mindful of no matter what day of the year it is.
Although I do think it's good that we have some dedicated time, because I think there's not enough awareness really about men looking after themselves.
I think we're getting better with it. I think we are making some progress, but there is just still so much more that can be done.
What do your brothers, or what do you do for your mental health?
Other than shave off your moustache.
I don't know. It sort of differs. I've learned quite recently that I gorge sugar when I'm not feeling good. When I was 15, it was party rings. I was obsessed with party rings. It was bad. I lived in this very small isolated village in Wenvo,
Yeah.
which is middle of nowhere basically.
I know it.
There was one shop
You would.
that I'd have to walk to. It was this 20-minute walk. Obviously, I didn't have a car. I was 15, and I'd get my party rings for like 50p, and then I'd come back, and then I'd eat them all in a day, and then I'd go back and
Get more.
it was this, and then in lockdown it was creme caramels. I was
Oh.
constantly on the creme caramels.
But at least you got your daily walk in.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I was being mindful as I was walking to go and.
Did you mindfully eat the party rings and creme caramels?
I had.
Were you mindful?
Sometimes I was mindful of the time that I was eating them. It was about 2 a.m. going down for more
Yeah.
creme caramel.
Kind of sitting there like, I should be sleeping. Okay, one more.
Yeah. So you know, I've become a lot more aware of what my brain does during bad times of mental health. But like, it's figuring out how to keep well-being up and not getting bored of it, which is weird because like.
That's the thing, because like with my brothers, for them when they're having a challenging time, they do just prefer to be like on their own, kind of having time to themselves. So, you know, one of them is just going to be like playing video games or like PC games, and he'll just be in a world of his own. The other one is obsessed with YouTube, so he'll just kind of escape into those worlds. And you know, I would like to think that they know that if they need to, they can like come and talk about things, but we don't pressure them to. We kind of just allow them to have their space until they make that kind of approach when they're ready. And I think that's what kind of helps us, because it used to be the case like a few years back that we'd be like, what's wrong? Well, talk to us, tell us what's going on. We can't help you if you don't tell us. And it's kind of realizing now that actually when they're ready to, they'll make that step on their own. Until then, it's kind of just making sure that they're safe, that they've got everything they kind of need, and letting them do what they need to do until they're ready to.
Yeah. Do you have a brother, Lucy?
Yes, I got one brother. He's also growing out his moustache.
Is
How's his
it?
mental health? Good to hear about the facial hair. Let's hear about the brain.
Yeah, I think it's he's doing really well, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think makes a difference to him like that? Have you ever known him down or not?
No, I never known him down.
He's never stolen your sweets in a moment of a challenging time.
Yeah. Have
So
you checked
the
the
party
part of
rings.
the fridge for creme caramel? That's when it gets quite serious. Is he older or younger?
Older.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How much older?
3.5 years.
And you've never known him to be down?
I've never known, well,
You've
Yeah.
never spoken to him about
yeah,
it? Okay,
yeah,
fair enough. Does he
Yeah.
like sport?
yes, he does.
Would he shave his moustache off for rugby?
For a team he doesn't support.
To be specific.
Does he normally have a moustache?
Not normally, but he's been really into it recently.
Is it from November?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, actually, that would make
Yeah, he's really into sport.
Yeah.
He quite like football.
Does he play?
He used to quite a lot, but he watches it more
Oh,
now.
right, okay.
No,
Yeah.
he plays. He quite likes F1 as well, but so do I.
It's a family thing.
Yeah.
It's funny because sport can bring you community as well,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's not
Yeah.
just. That's I think when you're saying like people get really down about it when they when their team loses and stuff, because it's a community thing, and so you feel like a part of you has like lost a competition. But then it also brings people together, like the family and stuff.
But
It's
I
quite
think
nice.
I think in that same sense it's also if you are the person like playing a sport or doing things like that, if you are the actual part of the team, it can give you again that sense of community, support, building new friends, building confidence and stuff like that, which is probably why you hear it so often that like exercise and sports can be so beneficial to your mental health as well, in regards to almost like building that support system.
I genuinely do think so. I know when I was younger, that definitely when I joined like sports clubs and stuff like that, even if it was not a team sport, then you'd still make friends in that club. That's what I still experience now. So it doesn't surprise me that I think a lot of men find it really helpful to do sports and to join teams and stuff like that. So I imagine that's part of it. I obviously don't know, but I think so.
Because every time myself and my siblings and my parents kept together.
Yeah.
Sport comes up at some point.
Yeah. Is it like a standing topic on the agenda?
I'm saying that though, my parents have been getting really into football and rugby and all that sports lately, and it's such a strange experience because up until like that recent time, they didn't care about it at all. And then one evening, I'm just like sitting in my bedroom. It's really nice. It's really chill. And suddenly, I hear both of my parents like screaming and shouting. So I'm just running out of my room, straight into theirs, going like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And there's a match on TV with my dad and my mom just sitting by each side of her, going, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Talk about high
And I'm like-
emotions.
I'm like, I don't know what I'm more worried about, like the fact that you're watching a match or how you're reacting to it. Like, how do I dissect this?
Yeah, I mean, out of character behaviour is definitely also.
Yeah, it's scary because I genuinely, with the way they were shouting, I thought like someone broke into the house. That's why they were like shouting, like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" I'm
Yes,
like,
it was. It was Man U. Broke into the house.
honestly, like.
Right, let's act natural and move on to the next topic.
Oh, that was very smooth. Very
smooth
well
smooth.
done,
segue.
I don't know.
Very
I
calm.
couldn't remember. October was a bit like mad, anyway. Hoping that November is going to be a bit calmer.
Yeah.
Not sure, but loads of stuff happened.
October started off bad and then got progressively worse.
How did it start?
The Tory conference.
Oh my
Unexpected.
god.
For
Wait,
me.
Right. The part is that you're saying that's how it started, but you also said it got progressively worse. So now I'm scared.
Well, you know, like it was just sort of like that sort of.
It
set
was
the
like,
mood.
was it like a trigger?
No. But like, you know, watching the news and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, October was a very high stress month and
Yeah.
it started for me personally.
I
True,
did a lot,
true.
I did.
Oh.
We've got a guest.
Oh, we've got someone who arrived late, but is here at last.
Hi guys, sorry.
We're just about to dive into what happened in October.
Yeah.
And a lot of
Which is
things
lot,
happened in October.
Yeah,
In fairness.
a lot.
Are you ready?
You ready?
I think I'm
Are you ready for the drama?
Yeah.
I mean, the Tory conference was bad for anyone who wasn't like a white middle-aged man, basically. Wasn't
I mean,
a
even
white-
Tories got angry at the
Yeah.
Tory conference.
Yeah,
so
people getting removed.
Mm.
For,
Wait, what?
yeah, people got removed. Like Tories got removed
Oh.
from the conference for sort of shouting out against the stuff that Suella Braverman.
So what?
and Susan was
So what you're saying is like they woke up in the morning and just genuinely chose violence.
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
I mean, it's like, I think a lot of politics has been very insidious for quite a few years now. Like, you know, there are sort of hints and nods at certain beliefs, but
Yeah.
I think normally in politics, you never really want to platform the most extremist views of the party
No.
because that's naturally a very polarizing and bad. I don't know whether extremist is the right word. Extreme is probably a
Yeah,
better word.
probably.
But yeah, you never want to platform the most extreme views because then it alienates everyone who doesn't believe in the furthest reaches of what you believe. And then that's sort of gone out the window
Yeah.
because they're sort of like vying for, well, it's sowing hatred really, in my opinion.
I mean, it's hard, like as member of the queer community to not feel like it's sowing
Yeah.
hatred.
Yeah.
So I totally get that. It's just not like I think we think it's getting better. We'd like to think it's getting better slowly, you know, in comparison to like, I don't know, 50 years ago, possibly. But if you look back, like even like 10 years ago, I'm not sure if it gotten better or not.
No, I
Certainly
mean,
not for the trans community.
no, I mean 9 years ago, who was it? I know that Theresa May wanted to do GRA reform, the Gender Recognition Act reform,
Mm.
which is very widely supported by queer people like everywhere in the UK because naturally the Gender Recognition Act is a lot of bureaucracy and just awful. But so yeah, that started. Theresa May was going to do all of that, and then I think certain people crept in with certain beliefs, and it sort of got progressively worse. I mean, I came out in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Late 2015, and things were quite good.
Yeah.
Like in comparison to how they are now, they were very good. Like, you know, I go on Twitter and it's all these lovely trans people, and like transphobes were sort of like this myth. They were like
never happened.
these people who lived in the shadows, but you never really saw them. If you went hunting for them, you'd find them.
Yeah.
You know, you'd sort of peek around the corner and be like, oh no, I don't want to see that, go away. But it was never you know, whenever something bad happened in the news, you'd see this info of support for trans people, and now it's the complete opposite.
Yeah, people used to have like coming out parties, isn't it?
Every week there'd be a new like viral video of someone who'd gotten like a surgery that they'd wanted, and they were taking off sort of like the surgical things and crying, and everyone was crying with them, and it was lovely. And I haven't seen a lick of that recently, and I think it's because, you know, it's become such a toxic environment to tread, and I do hope it will get better. But when you've got people in charge who are sort of scared of being supportive,
I
even
think
if they might have been in the past,
it's a really difficult political landscape at the moment for the queer community, for sure. I think even in the queer community though, like trans people probably struggle more than, well, I wouldn't want to make it a competition, but because you're trans people suffer transphobia even from other queer people, which is just weird. You know,
I think trans women have it very, very hard. But my neighbour's a trans woman. Her name's Gwen. She's 60. She rides a motorbike. She's very cool.
She sounds cool.
She's really cool. She's like Scottish. Rides a motorbike. She's
thanks to Granny.
Yeah.
I would be buying her cookies like every 3 days.
She baked me Lebkuchen the other year, and it was
She's Scottish.
She's Scottish, yeah.
And she's baking Lebkuchen.
Yeah, but you know, she has to see my grandma every so often. So.
I mean, to be fair, if I had a neighbour like that, I would never move out of that place. Ever.
However, is that still in Wenbo?
No. This is where my parents' house is, so I see her every so often when I'm like...
Right, is there like a house available nearby for rent or sale?
Asking for a friend.
I can see if she fancies a lodger or something.
Listen, I'll do the cooking, I'll do the cleaning, just like, let me enjoy that piece of joy.
But, you know, like the stories she's told, it's like... Some of them very harrowing, but she's always been very hopeful that things will get better. She says, you know, a lot of people in that age range who are trans will say that, you know, there are peaks and there are troughs and you just have to ride with them, which is nice to hear, but to live is frightening because you don't know how low the troughs are going to go after the peaks have been high.
It must be so surreal, and that's the thing, like, I find it really difficult to, like, even just imagine that. So for her to have lived that, survived all that, it's just mind blowing.
Yeah.
There's some really cool like Welsh trans women like of the older generation who have some really cool stories. I know that there's a big trans advocate in the Vale. I can't remember her name now. But
she's a pilot.
That's right. She's a British Airways pilot, and she's like got like all these awards for being awesome and like
for being awesome.
She's just so inspiring, really. And you know, I've also worked with someone before, like who was a trans woman who was also a veteran of the Falklands War. You know, like there's just so much cool stuff out there if we're just willing to listen to people who've gone through different life experiences than us. I think we should learn so much. So I'm like on this like little podium now. This is my soapbox. Welcome to it.
Yeah, you know what, was he saying that though, that also just made me think of the fact that October was also Black History Month, and again the theme was saluting our sisters. And with some of the things you said, like obviously I had the joy of doing a bit of research on all the amazing women, especially in Welsh history, that have had an impact. Yeah, that just makes you think. First of all, we are so lucky to have so many like strong leading women with such amazing ambitions and aspirations throughout Welsh history.
Yeah.
Shirley Bassey.
Yeah.
Shirley Bassey. Shirley Bassey.
Can you tell who we love? Is it obvious? But actually, I do have this question because Holly, you get a really different perspective from us. Has your school done anything for Black History Month?
As far as I'm aware, they haven't. They might have done an assembly when I wasn't in, but as far as I'm aware, they haven't done anything. Although there are plenty of posters supporting hedgehogs.
Oh my god.
I do like hedgehogs.
Yeah.
Not as much as Betty Campbell.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that it's very important, you know, it's hedgehog season now, you know, it's very important to keep them safe and to be cautious. But I think it's also very important to learn about our, not just our history, but even like in today's age, like the impact of that, but you know, not just Black women, but Black people in general and people of minorities.
So did you learn about did you learn about Mary Seacole ever?
No, I haven't.
Hang on, Mary Seacole.
Do you not? Is this not like a thing? Because I've spoken to people who have never heard of Mary Seacole, which is
I've
quite
never.
shocking to me.
I'm not sure if I'm just not remembering the name. It's a terrible name, but yeah.
Crimean War. Everyone's heard of Florence Nightingale, but working alongside Florence Nightingale was
I
Mary
think
Seacole,
I
who was a
know.
Black
We did.
woman, and that was part of my curriculum, I think, when I was much younger. But I wasn't sure if it was still like
No.
talked about, you know, because you know she's a very impressive woman,
Yeah.
and she was ignored for a lot of the time. Never.
It might be a GCSE subject, but I haven't been taught it now.
Oh wow! Did you ever learn about Mary Seacole? She was in Horrible Histories, like she was sort of brought up, which like sounds bad, but you know, like
I've never watched Horrible History. Well, I watched it, but I haven't watched it like.
not start to finish like
Yeah,
I have,
yeah.
like back to back,
Yeah.
like
I mean,
it's serious.
Saying that, back when I was in school, they really never did much for Black History Month and raising awareness on that topic either. So it's just like obviously I finished school back in 2015, so kind of looking at like none of that happening back then and kind of hearing that it's still not being done. It's just so crazy, especially because so many of these people and you know these amazing women have fought so hard for Black history to be part of the curriculum and then to be taught and to be you know raised awareness on, and it's just not happening.
It does show how necessary it is to have something like Black History Month. I mean, really, it shouldn't be Black History Month, it should be Black History all the time.
All
Black
day,
History all the
yeah,
time.
every day.
It shouldn't be just a month.
Yeah.
It's not fair. Everyone should be respected, whether race, sexuality, gender, doesn't matter. They should just be respected.
So, is there anything you wish your school had done for Black History Month?
I would have been interested to have a really big week on it where we did history sort of stuff on Black history, women, men, different things like that. Maybe had certain people come in, say their experiences with racism or things which they've overcome. I think that would have been really nice.
Yeah.
Maybe next year.
But you hosted a Black History Month social
Social,
that we did.
yes. So we just wanted to kind of play our part in raising awareness, and we also got to watch Hidden Figures. I watched it for the first time,
Really
and
nice.
can I just start off with I love it.
I've seen it.
I was there with you.
Oh yes, yes you were.
I was like, Lucy, where
Listen,
are you there?
I just remember an amazing movie. I completely forgot about you.
Oh, thank you very much. That's lovely to hear.
I was so shocked when I found out that it was actually based on true story. Watching that movie, it was just mind blowing on its own. But then to find out that you know women like that existed within NASA and
And
did
we're
what they did.
raised.
Yeah.
Like that's the
a
mad
long
part.
time.
It's insane that you that we don't know about them.
No,
Like that's what
But-
sort of
yeah. That is a bit exciting that we needed to have a movie out about it in order to kind of raise awareness on that.
It's about three black women based on a true story and a book, I think, about them. They were sort of like the mathematicians
Yes.
at NASA before computers were a thing. They were doing all the computations, so actually they are referred to as the computers.
But it's just like if it's not being talked about enough, if it's, if people are not doing their bit to raise awareness on that, then that's where we risk, future conflicts being, coming out of that, because there isn't that kind of understanding and knowledge and compassion and kindness that there would be if we all do a little bit to raise awareness.
Yeah, there's already a lot of conflict.
Exactly,
already.
in the world, yeah. I mean, do
Oh,
we
did you
really
not-
need more?
Ah.
I'm sorry, I know, but to be fair, it has been going on a lot lately, and I'm sure that many people feel the way that you do, going like, oh, not again.
I swear the
Would be
data
enough.
shows young people and people in general would like world peace. We looked at data today, didn't we? And it was
We
definitely
did.
on there.
I also want to ban horses though.
I'd rather ban wars. Like, seriously, like, obviously this clearly did happen in October still.
Yeah.
Like the Palestine conflict is yet another war. I feel like I'm still not over the Ukraine conflict. It's still going on anyway. And I guess they don't really take turns of raging wars. But it's just it's
The
just
thing
so
with
stressful.
that is that even if it does end, and I hope sincerely that it does, it won't change the fact that a lot of young people still feel very strong feelings about it, because it's great if it can end, but it's still we still worry about how our future is gonna look when every challenge is the result is a conflict. There's security, there's safety, especially as young people we're often told that it's not something that we have to worry about, but come next 20-30 years, that is going to be our future. It's what we're going to have to deal with, so naturally we're going to worry about it now.
You get bombarded with information about it. There's no real escaping information.
No.
Yeah.
Like, it's
It's on the news all the
it's
time.
on no,
Social
And there's no
media.
positives,
Social
no
media.
positives on the news anyway.
No.
It's literally all negative.
Oh, that's because of the negative, obviously, like it gets a reaction, an emotional
Yeah.
reaction.
Yeah.
That's what we.
We're addicted to that feeling.
Yeah.
I feel like just sort of knowing everything, because it's like.
But you want to know as well, because you feel like you want to do something about it, because there's people suffering.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
But then-
also you have the natural reaction to look at something that's presenting a danger. So like
Yeah.
when you drive past a car accident and you automatically like stare
Yeah,
at
like
it,
is everyone
your brain's
okay?
going,
Yeah,
am I in
what
danger from
happened?
this? Like,
Yeah, it's a
part
fight or
of you's
flight
like,
check. Isn't
yeah,
it?
you're
Yeah.
going, do I need to be worried? Like checking ahead, and then you go on the news and everything's like bad, and then you become embroiled in all of this information, and half the time you don't know what to do with it, especially if you're under 18. Like it's scary.
Yeah.
You guys, like, so in my friendship group, like we talk about like the conflicts quite a lot. Like every time something comes up, we end up talking about it. I mean, not really. Since the Palestine-Israel conflict started, there hasn't really been a day where we haven't talked about it. And is that something similar for you guys in school? Like, do you talk about that? Does it come up at all?
Not really.
No.
No.
Do you know about it? Though?
No.
No.
Oh, wow.
You've avoided.
It's, I don't watch
I
the news,
think-
guys. Sorry. I
Yeah.
sort of
That's-
it's
that's
Oh,
fine.
that's probably a good thing. Sounds like.
Yeah, because that's the thing though, is you go, on social media, and as you say, there's plenty of information about it, but you really don't know what's accurate, what's fact, what's just opinions and assumptions, and you kind of have to take everything that's said online with a pinch of salt, because unless you're talking to an expert who has been, studying and looking at these things for ages, or someone who is directly involved, you really don't know how much of what's online is misinformation, how much is personal feelings and personal opinions compared to what's actually happening.
Yeah, I mean, and if we think about sort of the news, like the news are not always unbiased either. Propaganda is a thing, and it has always been a thing, and certainly in the age of social media, it's still out there. So it's really important, I think, that we check our sources when we consume news like that, especially if it's on social media, but even when it's on like the TV.
Not overloading is
Yeah.
because I mean, I was pretty much in your position when everything in Ukraine was going on, because I couldn't. I had to like step away from
Yeah.
everything, because I just couldn't cope with the amount of information that was being thrown at me about something that I could do nothing about.
Well,
and
that's
it's
the thing.
scary.
And that's the thing. I found out like for myself as well, like hearing about whether it was Russia and Ukraine or Israel and Palestine, it was things that didn't have a direct impact on me, you know, but that I still felt very emotional about, like hearing and everything.
Guilty.
Yeah, exactly, because you're kind of you know. Sometimes we go about our days kind of taking for granted the things that we have, and then you hear this and you kind of realize that you've got hot water, you've got a really comfy bed to sleep in, you know, if you're hungry you'll go get food, and then you've got people out there right this minute with so much uncertainty, so much fear and everything, and it just makes me feel how important it is to be considerate to kind of everyone that you meet in life, and to be considerate to, you know, not just your friends and family and how they're feeling, but also just complete strangers, you know, whether that's the smallest of guides. How important it is to be understanding and compassionate, patient, and just show a bit of kindness.
And a bit of openness as well to other people's perspectives. Like I personally don't understand the whole scope of the conflict, so you know I'm not gonna start throwing opinions around about it. Because I'd rather listen to what other people have to say, I guess. And let that sort of inform me and inform my gratitude and compassion to others, because that's really the best thing I can do, I think, is to have sort of patience for other people rather than to try and judge the situation.
I think it's just quite natural, you know, to worry that the world that we currently live in is, you know,
not entirely safe.
Yeah, not entirely safe and just full of conflict. And now, because obviously we're only 5 people sitting in a room talking to a microphone, but if you imagine every group of like 5 people sitting out there chatting about it, if all these voices can one day kind of come together and, you know, send out that same message of we want peace, not war, then hopefully that will amount to some kind of a change where that can become a reality. My hope anyway. No pressure. No pressure on the young people.
It's not exactly a one-step solution, but it's something to aim for, isn't it?
Anyway, favourite Halloween film?
I mean, you know, it's a very valid question though, isn't it? Because we're thinking about all these things that happened in October, but can we just appreciate it was also Halloween?
It was Halloween.
At least there was Halloween. You know what? I literally, when Halloween came around, I literally messaged my friend, thank God it's Halloween.
We need this. We need it so bad.
In my skeleton outfit.
You on your skeleton outfit. I love that. It was a whole vibe.
And also just, you know, like having something to look forward to, like Halloween, like any sort of, like
Did you go trick-or-treating?
Yes.
Yes? Oh my God, what did you dress up as?
I went as a witch and my friend went as the Grim Reaper.
Nice. Okay.
Did you get a lot of sweets though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Were you painted green?
No.
Why?
You did it
Boo.
Why? Because I didn't want to be someone from Wicked.
Oh,
Wow.
I mean,
That's disappointing.
that would have been derivative.
But I think I get what you're saying.
yeah,
though,
but
Lucy.
having something to
Yeah,
look forward
just-
to in this conflict is always
Exactly. It can be so easy, as we kind of already said, with like social media and with TV and everything, to kind of look at all the negatives and all the bad things that are happening in the world. But yeah, from time to time, I think it is good to take a step back and think of like all the good things that we can look forward to. Because
definitely.
I know for me, like my biggest celebration kind of holiday is Halloween.
Yeah.
So to have that, to have looked forward to thinking of my costume and all that candy, it was just it's something that kind of takes that pressure off. Yeah. But Lucy did have a very valid question. I mean, do we have favorite Halloween movies?
I do.
But what are they?
I
Minda,
don't
do
know.
you?
Actually, I'm a scaredy cat. So, to date, my favourite Halloween film is not even technically a Halloween film, it's a Christmas film.
Okay.
And that's A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? We'll let it pass.
Yeah.
It counts.
That's not to say I have tried scary films. I watched Scream when I was younger.
Terrified.
Many moons ago.
And I was made to watch Friday 13th on the Friday before Halloween. and I legitimately screamed, so I'm not going to do that again.
That's a very interesting progression. Scream, Friday the 13th, some more screaming.
Yeah. So, I'm going to stick with nice and family friendly.
But I think that's quite valid. I mean, some people really like these scary horror movies, like gory and everything, and some people don't, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, we won't judge you too much.
I think it's just me. You all like gore, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I just enjoyed Hannibal for the art of it.
Yeah.
The blood splatter art.
I just think Hugh Dancy's quite pretty.
I guess.
No, yeah, I think I'm not hugely into horror films anymore, as I've sort of developed an awareness that I don't actually like feeling scared.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
understandable.
already got anxiety, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't.
It's already feeling under pressure.
I don't really know. But when I was a youth,
Aeons ago.
I would.
You still are a youth.
Don't spill those secrets, come on.
Yeah, I would sneak into horror
Holly, are you
films.
okay? Are you crying?
Holly's just having a right laugh.
youth.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but if you're a youth and Holly is a
I
baby.
know my hair's still wet from the womb, but I was a youth.
Oh, I don't like that imagery.
Okay, like
Trigger warning.
Halloween is over, right? You do realise that we don't need the horror now.
To continue your story,
Yeah.
when you were but a wee boy.
I used to sneak into horror films quite often, so I snuck into Friend Request and then The Conjuring 2 and a few others, but The Conjuring 2 was like the one that I'd sort of frequented over the period that it was out, just because at that time I was stoic and emotionless. You're right.
Listen, Holly, we don't support those ideas, okay? We're not saying go and do
Do
that.
something illegal on the mic.
Yeah,
I'd never said I was underage. I just said
So
I used to
snuck
sneak
in.
into. Yeah, I just used to.
Holly,
Creep.
the
I
point
buy
is
tickets.
we don't support it. It's in the past. It's not.
Oh, it wasn't a good
happening.
idea.
We
Right.
don't actually support anyone doing this.
No.
Some people do, but we don't.
Yeah, I mean, very few of the films were good.
So you wasted your time.
Other than The Conjuring.
Yeah.
Conjuring 2 was good, but then I actually bought it.
Holly's trying to put two and two together. She's like, oh, if you do this and then you do that, do you get this?
I mean, the amount of times I've been ID'd for 15 films, like past the age of 15 now, I think I've sort of made up for it.
Holly, do you have a favourite Halloween movie?
I got ID'd for my first 15 film on my birthday.
Yay!
And I went to go watch the Five Nights at Freddy's film.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
For those who haven't watched it just yet, I won't say too much, but it was really good.
Okay.
And there were a lot of little Easter eggs for like different games as well. So you pick up on those if you played the games.
And did you play the games?
Yeah, so I picked up on them straight away.
Rah. And did you get scared?
A certain part, yes.
And you watched it on a Friday?
Yeah.
Nice. I don't know why Friday is important actually. It's
You're thinking Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah. And my last name's Friday, so it's fine.
But was it like, is it one of your favourites now, or is it not in the top 3?
I think it's up there, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's getting there. Well, that's interesting, because to be honest, it's on my to-watch list, and I've been debating, like, shouldn't I? But
I definitely know I shouldn't.
yeah. I mean, I'm definitely not going to take Evie to the cinema with me.
I don't want to go to the cinema with you.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about horror.
I don't have a favourite like horror film, but the last horror film I watched was The Exorcist, The Believer, the new one.
Oh.
That was
Oh
good.
no.
Yes. What did you think?
It was a bit creepy.
You don't say.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, it
How are you feeling?
creeped out.
Yeah.
I know, it's a little bit creepy. I feel a little bit creeped out.
Yeah, but yeah.
Do you think I could watch it? Was it Evie friendly? Have you seen the trailer?
No.
The trailer's not EV friendly.
I will scratch that from my Christmas wish list.
I would enjoy taking you to watch your reaction.
That's just brutal.
All right then. But we did an Instagram thing, didn't we?
Yes, I think I actually committed this to memory. Halloween Town came out, and so did Hocus Pocus.
They're
I always
out.
mix those two up, but one of them uses Welsh for the spells. And I think is it Hocus Pocus?
I
One
think
of-
it's Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, I think so.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, one of them uses the Black Book of Carmarthenshire for like the. This is just something I know. Just
Okay.
check.
Research.
I think it's Carmarthenshire. It might just be Carmarthen. As the spells, but obviously it's
Okay.
Americans
Yeah.
saying it. So there was this massive debate within sort of Welsh-speaking communities about what on earth are they saying? Because like we know that it's probably Welsh, but none of it's
It wasn't.
hitting
Did
right.
Did they actually even know the alphabet properly? Because some of the letters are different, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the pronunciation.
So it was Middle Welsh, so
Uh-huh.
like sort of Middle English.
Yeah,
So already it's quite
Weird.
different to the Welsh that we have today. Not weird, it's just different.
Unusual.
Yeah, we don't say weird around here.
But yeah, it's
Wow.
it was quite a lot. Once they figured it out, you know, there were these scathing comments about how like offensively bad it is. But I just think it's quite cool. But you know,
It's a fun fact for sure.
yeah.
Any others?
There was obviously the scary movies.
Yes.
came out.
Yeah.
So,
obviously.
Like
So-
the more comedy, sort of not real horrors.
Yeah.
But
I think it was the other film because I can't find anything on it.
was it?
Yeah.
Hocus Pocus?
I
I'm not
don't
sure
know.
what it is. Something used Welsh. I thought it was one of those two because those
Well,
two came out.
Any listeners
Yeah,
who know should
there
definitely
is a film
message
out
us.
there that uses Welsh.
You need to know.
No. Right, I just have an important question. Did Coraline come up?
No, but is that
Coraline.
That
yours?
is
It's
really
fine.
creepy.
It's fine. I love Coraline.
It's
Coraline's great.
Cannot watch it. I'm gonna
But
win.
it's kind of like a children's kind of horror film. I find like I don't know. I really do like the kind of plot twists and everything.
It's
Scary.
It's Neil Gaiman, so he's always in my heart.
In your soul.
In my heart and soul. He
Yeah.
lives there.
Did any of our followers come up with any other? Well, choose any other films?
I don't think so. I think it was
Oh.
mostly sort of scary
Halloween
movies and like
Yeah.
the classic sort of Disney ones.
Yeah.
Which are nice,
Some
you
good
know.
ones, yeah.
They're,
What's the Disney ones?
Halloween Town is
Transylvania.
Hocus Pocus, I think.
Oh, Hazel.
Oh,
Yeah,
Transylvania.
yeah.
And the one about Frankenweenie, is that like
Frank and
Oh,
Weenie,
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a spin-off, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's loads of good Disney stuff out there, but there's I'm sure there's other ones too.
Yeah, but let's be honest. I mean, Halloween movies are kind of going on the shelf now, and we'll be getting our Christmas movies.
It's
Yes.
November.
Christmas
Can we not do
decorations.
Christmas quite yet?
I mean, I'm happy to wait until 1st of December, but I know some people who started putting their Christmas trees up.
It's not Christmas until Big Brother's over.
Oh, it's a very valid point.
I have never watched Big Brother.
Get help.
I watched Big Brother in the late 90s when it first came out in Germany.
Right, okay, you're not part of this conversation.
Have you been watching Big Brother, Maddie?
You know what? No, I've been meaning to. I've got my friends sitting in my ear, going like, "You have to watch it. It's so interesting this year." And they've been spoiling it for me. So now I'm kind of like sitting there, like, "Why should I
It's
watch it?
still
You told me
going on.
everything."
Right. Holly, are you up to date?
Not last night's episode, but the
That's
other.
okay.
You
That's
can be
okay.
forgiven.
I can deal with
for
that,
Yeah.
like, emotionally. So how are we feeling about Big Brother?
I'm feeling okay. I was quite surprised when. Oh, what's her name? The transgender woman got voted off.
Hallie.
Yes,
Aw.
Hallie.
Yeah, no, I was surprised about that as
Yeah.
well.
Well,
'cause,
she got voted out.
she
Talk
did.
about
For
transphobia.
attitude.
I know.
For her attitude problems, isn't it?
Yeah, but she was also 18. And,
Ah.
like,
I mean,
it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, she's allowed. I
She-
like her, so she's allowed.
Did you like her?
Yeah, I liked her. I thought personally that she could have dialed down the attitude a little bit.
So that's
But she was also from East London or South London.
Yeah,
So that plays into it a bit, where like, you know.
I mean, all I've been hearing is that there are, now I may be wrong, but that there are these two guys who are like polar opposites of each other. And then
Yeah.
sometimes like little conflicts between them are the tea that everyone wants.
There's a love triangle
It's always about the love triangle.
with Jordan, who's from Scunthorpe, which is
That's a place.
But so Grimsby, so
Oh,
quite
okay.
North England, but he speaks like he's from Downton Abbey because he enjoyed Downton Abbey as a kid and just stole their accent.
Naturally, as you do.
Literary nature debate there.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that Downton Abbey didn't come out until my 20s.
So Jordan seems to be having a sort of hot and cold thing with this guy called Matty, who's from the Isle of Man, who is a doctor, but that's debatable. Because he's like 23 or 24, so he shouldn't have qualified yet.
I think I remember you
very
And
young.
also he's not on the
about that.
GMC register,
Oh.
which hasn't hit the news cycles yet. But I've seen
Well,
people-
it's about to.
it's just hit the news cycles.
Yeah,
he's not on
It's
there.
about to.
But no, he seems quite sweet. He's quite he's like a hippie, like
He's
very
like laid back.
long hair,
Okay.
mustache, and he's very sweet. Like even if he's not a doctor, like
Even if he's not
even if he's not registered,
okay.
I
Even
suppose.
if he's
Even if
committing
he's lying
even
about
if
his
he's
achievements in career.
Even if he's committing medical frauds.
It's fine.
It's minor detail.
Anyway, there's this guy called Matty, and Jordan quite likes Matty, and but it's a very hot and cold thing where Matty seems to like him back, and then I'll be like, no, not into it, and then
Alright, okay, currently I'm
Jordan
seeing
will
2
okay.
points in this supposed
Yeah.
Where is
triangle.
the triangle?
But-
Oh.
in the background,
Dun, 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 dun.
and literally in the background, every single time Matty and Jordan will be talking, the camera will pan and then zoom in on what's his name, Henry,
Yeah.
Oh.
who's in love with Jordan, and like
They
down
kissed.
bad.
They've kissed before.
They kiss multiple times,
Yeah.
What?
but like pecks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they like shared a bed when they were like having their little chats.
Yeah. But
Oh,
then
the
Jordan
drama.
went like as a mate though.
As
you
a-
know?
As a maid.
No homo.
No
What?
homo. And what's Henry? Henry's this very posh boy. Basically,
Yes.
he's very posh.
Do we like Henry though?
I didn't want to, but because you know it's
Does
the
he kind of grow on
automatic
you?
prejudice because he comes in and goes, "I'm a conservative," by the way, and it's like, oh.
Ugh.
But
He was a royalist as well, and you made that very clear on the first episode.
yeah, but the problem is like, you know, he's sweet. He is very sweet, and sometimes you just have to put someone's political affiliations aside and just see them as the
And
person
then just
that they
live
are.
for the drama.
Yeah, and just live for the drama, because
Okay.
like it's all going on.
Like, I think I need you guys to just hold me accountable and like message me going, right, you're home now, watch Big Brother.
Yeah.
Like,
Sorry.
don't care what you're doing, just play it.
Go on home.
I just want to clarify, there's nothing wrong with being a royalist. It was the way that he put it.
Yeah.
He was
That was
very.
the way he came across.
He said that he was a royalist, and then he believed that other people should also be a royalist. Like he said that his opinion is what's right, which is wrong.
But
Because everyone
It's right,
has
but
their
it's
own.
wrong.
Everyone has their own opinions, and they
Yes.
deserve that opinion.
But he's been in the house, and like it was quite interesting because on opening night he was sort of he was positioned after Trish, and Trish is so there's a VT and this like you know as everyone's being introduced they have a little videotape about like, who they are
Oh yeah.
and what their sort of beliefs are, and it's a short little thing, and there's this woman called Trish and her VT says, "My name's Trish and I hate Tories," basically.
Oh.
And then
Yeah.
immediately after that, Henry
Excellent
gets
editing.
introduced and he goes, "I'm a Tory." My name's Henry and I'm a Tory. But they're like mates now.
Oh.
And it
That's a bit
seems that
weird.
they both sort of like,
Fond of each other.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
both
Yeah.
fond of each other. They've both spoken. Henry's spoken before about how like Trish has changed his perspective on quite a few things.
Ooh, and we do like an open-mindedness.
We do like an open-minded.
Yes.
We like growth. We do like
Character
growth.
development arc.
Yeah, and it's just it's nice to watch people like that, and also to have people that are just
What do you think you'd do if you were in a house?
I'm always in the house.
I'm sometimes in a flat.
You know what? Sometimes just to like spice it up, I'm at work, but then
We have a
Then-
garden.
but then I go back to the house. I know. Can you believe it?
All right, if you were in a Big Brother house.
Oh well, that's a completely different story. I would lay in bed and eat cheese.
Would you start drama
I'd
in the
start
Big Brother
drama,
house?
yeah.
Would
What
you?
sort of drama would you start?
A biggest drama.
Every single challenge that I'd be given, I'd like put it to the max.
Would you be spreading rumours?
Yeah.
Oh!
This season on Big
It was
Brother.
actually- It was actually Jordan and just ruin that
Yeah.
triangle
Yeah.
at its
You go
connecting
to
point.
Henry and you go, I heard that Jordan said this about you, and then you go to Matty and you go, I heard that Jordan said this about you, and then you go back to Jordan and you go, you'll never guess what they've been saying. I'm gobsmacked.
Is it still like a secret where the Big Brother house is? That used to be, in the 90s, in the olden days, that was a thing.
They have a live
hid it.
audience, so I don't think so.
They have a
No.
what?
Yeah, if
What,
you
on-
go live audience.
Yeah, on eviction night, there's a live audience.
Yeah, but is it like actual live
Yeah,
audience,
yeah.
or is it live audience that they picked out and said this is our live audience?
No,
They've,
it's
they've got two different places. So
Oh.
they got one right outside the house, and then they have one where it's like after 11 o'clock sort of thing, where they have 3 special guests.
late and live.
Yeah. And they've got a bunch of people who watch the show. The family of the member has been voted off, and asked them, and they do a recap with their stay at the house.
They go, why is your son so rude?
Yeah.
Right, well listen, I just want to make sure that if I start watching, this season of Big Brother, that when they've got that live audience, I don't see your face in the first row trying to like cause drama.
Does that mean though, if you were in the Big Brother house causing all this drama, they'd be talking to your dad about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know you love it when people talk to your dad.
Hey, you
Alright.
know what? Maybe one day we'll do our own little version of like Big Brother. It's just gonna be.
I don't
We're
want
already
to be locked in
there.
a house with you.
We share a working space. We can go. We can call it like instead of Big Brother, it'll be like Big Hangout.
Oh, I don't want to be locked in a house with you.
It's bad enough being in this.
It's
living
fine.
room.
There are windows. There are windows you can open.
Are you
sure?
Not down here, but like upstairs.
Oh, Trav.
For everyone who doesn't realise, we're in the basement.
Wait.
In summary, October,
A mess.
not as good as it could have been,
No.
but at least there was Halloween,
Yeah.
and Big Brother is still going.
Yeah.
All right then. Whoop whoop. Well, I guess let's see what's up next. We've got what have we got coming up next? November.
This is November.
Yes.
I think
And
adverts for November are I love them.
yeah.
Yeah. That's just such a weird thing to say, but you
Oh,
know.
I did see one.
Yeah.
With the football crowd.
I saw one with like a mustache.
Oh.
What?
Sorry.
An advert with a mustache.
Are we going on to that or?
We've already done it.
Yes. Sorry, you skipped
And I
it.
did not bring any fake mustaches in for the full duration, but
I mean,
Sam has donated his.
yes.
Let's
This is gonna be a strange sentence, but let's remember Remembrance Day.
Oh, there's so many Remembrance
Yes.
Days in November happening actually.
Yeah.
So many too. I can count. So it's the only 11th.
Yes.
I mean, it's the same day every year.
Look, it's a British thing, right? Don't blame me.
11.
Yeah.
Yes. So that naturally. What other Remembrance Days are there? I think.
It's Trans Day of Remembrance,
Yeah.
on the 19th.
So, I should
Yeah.
know.
You should
really.
know.
Yeah.
We'll
It's one
get
of
back
those
to that.
dates where it creeps up on me and then it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then you should know.
I mean-
that's right.
Hmm?
I think that's right.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. By the time we're recording this next episode, I will just be crawling here in tears going, I still haven't bought all the Christmas presents. I am so behind. I am not ready. I don't want to put up my Christmas tree.
We should do a Secret Santa.
20th of November.
Oh, well, there you go. Now we know.
I did know that.
I did
Sorry.
know.
Somewhere deep inside.
Yeah, it's a Monday, so
I think I'm just kind of looking forward to doing our next social.
yeah, which will be about men's mental health.
Mental health, yeah. I think we've been discussing having a ping pong
No.
Table tennis.
table tennis. No, but you know what? I've really enjoyed this little discussion.
Yeah.
I think it was very insightful, and I think it's so good that we get to just sit here and kind of talk about all these things openly.
I hope much of what I said just gets cut.
Nah, we're keeping it all. Keeping it all.
Alright. See
Right.
you next month, I guess.
Yeah. Next time, innit? Woo!
Bye bye. Can you guys believe it's November now? In fact, November is almost over.
Yeah, I'm thinking now.
Go me, I can read a calendar. Or can I?
Can you believe it's our second episode?
Yes, that's true. Can you believe it's the second episode? It's not... It does feel like it was just like yesterday that we recorded our first one. So, what's happened in November? I feel like we had a little bit of a respite in November in terms of like serious stuff happening in comparison to October. I think there's a lot more like fun bits. Like the new Doctor Who coming out, like that's quite exciting.
That was very serious for me.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. And how do you feel about that?
There was nothing fun about that. It was a military operation.
Okay. Tell me more about it.
Yeah, it was lovely. It was very nice. It was like a love letter to my childhood.
Really?
I thought, yeah, it was lush.
Has anyone else here watched a new Doctor Who yet? The new episode? I haven't seen it. Like, I don't think I've seen Doctor Who since Matt Smith, actually.
Well,
I've never watched it.
Well, I've not seen Doctor Who since David Tennant.
For me, it was a matter of I constantly kept telling myself, yeah, I would watch it, and then it just kept piling on with new seasons, and then I was like, I'm never gonna watch it.
2 years ago, I have this friend from Canada called CJ who had never watched it before. And I was like, right, I'm just gonna sit here and stream it with you, and we're just gonna watch the entire thing, like from Christopher Eccleston onwards. And I think we just finished the David Tennant run when it was announced that he was coming back. So I was like, right, you're watching everything that I want to come back now. Like, this is a sign that you've got some sort of blessing. But because I have the inner ability to just go, no, that episode's rubbish. I think we've skipped about 10 episodes and at least a season. And me just going, nah, don't need that. I'll tell you what happens after. If anything comes up, I'll tell you about it. Like I've got an internal log of rubbish.
But like, okay, so David Tennant was the 10th Doctor.
Yeah.
How many are there?
Which one is he now?
Shooty
quite
would be
a
the
few.
15th technically. Now we didn't watch from the entire run. Like you don't watch from the classic ones unless you're like deeply serious. From the new era, it's Christopher Eccleston, who's brilliant, and then David Tennant and Matt Smith. Matt Smith was very good, but I think when I was a youth watching it, I was clouded by my love of David Tennant, so I just hated Matt Smith. I didn't want anything to do with him. I just thought he was the worst person on the planet. I was furious with him for replacing. Watching it back now, he's very good. Like he was brilliant. But at the time, I was just.
I'm just thinking, like, because for me growing up, I did watch like a spin-off series done by one of the women who is like the
Sarah
assistant.
Jane Adventure.
Yeah. Yes,
And
that.
that's all filmed in Penarth.
Yeah.
Yes, and like I rewatch it now, and I'm like, you're not in Ealing, London.
But I think I actually really liked that, and I didn't realize it was like a spin-off and like from like Doctor Who until about like 3 weeks ago, and I was like, oh,
The Doctor's in it.
I didn't know who it was. I was just watching it like.
Maddie's world's just expanded.
Like she's constantly going,
I
oh,
didn't-
my friend the Doctor.
Yeah, but I thought he was genuinely a doctor. I mean, you're not gonna if you hear the word doctor, you think like a GP surgery. You know, I have a runny nose, not a.
The Doctor
Why-
who.
Hang on, like, but why is he called
Who's the doctor?
There's,
Who is the Doctor?
I think there's a bit of lore about that, about him choosing the name so that he would be dedicated to being a healer. So
Isn't he like a
Is this
traveler
like-
though?
oh well, he travels.
He's a helper.
He
He's a
helps
helper.
out. Yeah, he goes to places. There's a war on. He goes, guys, stop, and they do. It was a very good episode. It was very nice. They brought back an old companion from the 10th
Yeah.
Doctor's era. They brought back Donna. Don't
Who
know if
is-
it means anything to you? Catherine Tate.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. And she had a trans daughter. Pretty much, like, the climax of the episode was that the world was saved by the mother's love for a trans daughter.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Yeah.
And especially, like I said, like, I think November gave us a bit of a reprieve from October, considering October was rough for trans people. To have that little celebration there is really nice.
Thing is that, like, with the whole Doctor Who thing, I think it's quite nice for, you know, TV shows in general and actors to be coming back, because
Yeah.
obviously of all that's been happening.
Yeah, the strike is finally over. They're finally getting paid slightly better and what they deserve. I don't actually know the details on in and outs, but it's nice to know that we're back in business, really. I know that one of my favourite shows is Bridgerton, and that's been on hold for a while.
Yeah.
But that's back on filming and stuff like that, and they can actually finally make new ones.
Yeah. But I think the strike kind of affected like the lower production.
Oh yeah, I've got some friends who are actors, and obviously they're just, I mean, I don't have any famous friends, FYI. But yeah, so some of them who would be like in like as extras or whatnot, you know, like lower level jobs, and they're really struggling. Just
And
nothing
even
happening.
when it came to like big releases, I know that the Hunger Games had to get like a special sign off to advertise
Really?
for like a week prior to its release. I think it was primarily on Big Brother that they advertised. That's the only place I saw adverts.
Yeah.
Did they?
They did a big Hunger Games themed task on Big Brother,
Yeah.
and then it was like in the sort of
That's hilarious.
Did you watch the Hunger Games yet? Have you had the chance?
I love the Hunger Games.
Like the most recent one though.
No, unfortunately.
I'm like,
But I've
really
watched
excited.
them all and I'm a big fan.
Are you
Yeah.
excited?
Very excited.
Have you read the book?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I know.
So you're going into it not knowing anything, which is quite exciting.
Yeah, with a fresh and open mind. Because it's the backstory to
It's like a-
Snow, like the bad guy in the first.
Yeah,
few,
yeah. It's
right?
it's almost like a prequel, so
Yeah.
like how the Hunger Games like first came to be, and like, you know, what the real purpose of it is and stuff like that. And yeah, it shows Snow as like a young man and everything, and
How? Like, I'm curious, like, because he was a bad guy. How are they gonna make him likable
He was,
as a main character?
I think he's going to be a tribute, like one of the people in the games.
no, the thing is, I've only seen the trailers, but the way it looks like to me is that he is, you know, like what's like a sponsor for the contester.
That's
So like he's supposed to guide them and, you know, make them likable and all that kind of stuff, and like make them believe that they can win, even though realistically no, they can't.
See, we don't know anything about this because they weren't allowed to advertise it. They weren't allowed to say anything about it.
Yeah, I think Hollywood in general is struggling, and even like well-known actors have faced obviously a hard time. We've had the story of Matthew Perry, which was very upsetting.
Yeah.
I mean,
Very upsetting.
yeah, that was a really hard blow, I think, because but then I guess in a way it's nice to know that it's not as tragic as it could have been, because I know he's gone through so much.
Yeah.
But in the end he passed away from natural causes, didn't he? Okay.
I think
Was
he-
it natural?
Yeah, I think he had a
Yeah.
heart attack in,
Yeah.
in his home.
And although, you know, like you can speculate all you want about heart attack and stress and yada yada, but you know, it's not as tragic as some other celebrity deaths.
But
in the
I
past
think
at his age.
a lot of actors kind of got like hit with that. It was obviously a shock to everyone, and the thing is, we could like a lot of people sat there and kind of said, they remember him from Friends, but I saw a post online which showed the fact that he appreciates the role that he had in Friends, and the things that it gave him and the things that it taught him, but there is so much more that he did with life that he wants to be remembered by. And it was actually quite amazing how many attention that was getting, and that people were sharing it and going, he appreciates Friends, but he wants to be remembered for so much more than that. And people actually being respectful of that, which I think is quite nice.
And I think we should kind of learn from his death as well, because I did notice quite a lot on the Friends co-stars post before they did their tribute. There was a lot of comments on their other posts saying, "Oh, why haven't you posted yet?" And it kind of why?
Come on, people can grieve in whichever way they need to.
Yeah, and the thing is, chances are that they were also being respectful to his family. They did not go in, straight online and, oh my God, this happened, we can't believe it. They probably wanted to give some time for his family to process.
When I hear someone passes away, the first thing I check is not whether the media outlets are on about it. There's a level that needs of privacy and of patience that we want to show. I think just in case, obviously, like I said, everybody grieves differently, but we can move at different paces.
And it's the same as the funeral as well. I saw quite a lot of posts of the paparazzi or whoever, photos, them taking photos of the funeral and stuff like that. You don't need to be there.
I think that is the thing though, is with celebrities, automatically those moments that realistically for any one of us, we is a private moment for family and friends and those who care about, it's just all blasted on social media. It's like, hey, this is not a private moment for you and your family. Every paparazzi in town's got to know about it.
Movember obviously is initially just as if that's not a serious matter, but it's about prostate cancer
and
testicular cancer, so it's about men's physical health.
There hasn't been a massive sort of deal made of it. I feel like in the past it's been a lot more sort of, the media's been a lot more driven about November in the past, and now it's sort of just one of those things.
Apparently men's mental health is no longer trendy.
I do think at the core the lack of talking about men's health is the same for physical and mental health, isn't it? It's just the sort of fear of vulnerability
and a shame around it.
It's really, and I understand why it's hard for everyone, but I can't even imagine, I don't know, once you're caught up in the masculine imagery.
It's such a strange thing. It's almost there's almost a stereotype that men can't have any challenges at all, be it physical or mental or otherwise. My dad, he'll be unwell or something to a point that I'm thinking you should probably get checked out by the doctor, and for some reason he would rather just sleep for 48 hours straight without waking up than go to the doctors and get checked out. Because there is that idea that the moment that he goes to the doctor, then there's truly something wrong with him, and even if it's just a common cold. And also suddenly he's becoming vulnerable and asking someone for help, and I'm like, it's not a bad thing. I understand why you feel that way, but why should you allow yourself to suffer like this when there is help available and no one's going to judge you for accessing it.
Was your dad in the army?
All Polish dads were in the army.
My partner and I have a thing about army dads being completely just they refuse to acknowledge that they're ill, to take ibuprofen is a sign of weakness to them.
And it's okay to just say ow. And it's okay to say help. There's actually, we run a creative group. Shameless plug. On Wednesday. And one of the young people in the group wrote a little poem for men and about men's mental health. And it goes, no one should be told to be strong when strong hurts. No one should be yelled at for crying when you're in pain. You shouldn't be alone by yourself when you're ill, although you might have been told that you can't cry or get help because it feels weak. It isn't. Talk to your friends and family, have an honest talk with them, and make the subject of mental health open. It's never a week to be you. Talk about it if work gets too much. What makes you sad is essential. What makes you angry or happy is important. Talk to people about it. You're important. Your thoughts and feelings are important.
Oh,
It's just so nice, right? If anyone wants to come to the creative group and make such awesome works, you may. Shameless plug over.
I think it's such an important message though, and I do sort of, like I said, I do get it, and especially because my dad has always been in the mindset of like not wasting resources and everything unless it's absolutely necessary, and I'm thinking like I get that because lately, you know, the healthcare system is under a lot of strain, and especially with winter coming. Winter's coming! A&E is getting busy, and doctors, you know, are struggling to have enough appointments available for people for routine checks and everything. But I'm like, Dad, if you need it, you are part of those people who are allowed to receive support, believe it or not.
There's going to be ebbs and flows to people accessing healthcare. Obviously, it's winter. People are getting flus. People are getting seasonal depression. People are... Like, it's darker, so people have more accidents, all of that, and people are more tired, so they have more accidents. People are generally needing more healthcare in the winter. It would be great if the healthcare system was able to prepare for that and if the funding was there. Unfortunately, times are such that that's more difficult. Economic crisis is coming. It's here.
Yeah, I think that's why I was really surprised to hear that the Heath Hospital in Cardiff was in like a black alert. Like they were so strained with like the workload and the amount of patients that they had to start pulling resources from other departments into like their A&E in order to cover all of that.
What's the black alert?
Black alert, it's basically when the hospital and especially like the emergency service is so under strain that they cannot keep up. You've got, they're calling everyone on call. The waiting times are crazy, and like I said, they're pulling resources from other departments of hospitals in order to try and provide help for everyone. And as far as I know, that has never happened for Heath Hospital before.
I don't know of any hospital where that's happened.
When you look at it now, they're pushing, you know, that information of kind of knowing where to go when you have an issue, whether knowing when to go to a pharmacy, when to go to your GP, when to go to an opticians, dentist, minor injuries units, and then A&E, and they're obviously asking, especially now with that winter pressure coming, that you kind of only go to A&E when it's absolutely essential. And when people know where they need to go for their specific needs, hopefully they will get seen faster.
Wow. Isn't it a good time to mention 111 plus 2?
Plus 2, yeah. So this is it a Welsh thing?
111 plus 2 is a Welsh service. It's a mental health service, actually. Normally you call 111, you talk to someone because you've got a physical issue. But now, if you press number 2, you are taken to a line where you can speak with a professional who can help you with any mental health challenges, and they can direct you, you know, to where you can go for the support that you need, or they can chat with you, and generally you kind of can get advice. So it makes it very straightforward.
It doesn't actually mean typing in 111 plus 2, right?
No. So it is literally you call 111, and it then asks you, you know, it actually gives you a little statement going, if you require, you know, support with mental health, press 2 now. You press 2 and you get help. You know, you go directly to help with mental health challenges.
And they can literally like triage you, can't they?
Yes.
Yes. And then sort of like direct you where to go. If you need to go to A&E, they will say that. But if not, if there's something else that they can do. For example, another shameless plug.
You don't say.
The hangout here where we're recording is partially funded by NHS, Cardiff and Vale University Health Board, and as part of that, they are able to take referrals from 111 plus 2, which I think is pretty cool. and it's much less scary than going to hospital, isn't it? What's it like coming here, Holly?
I quite like it here. It's quite cosy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be here all day if I could, really.
It's open from 3 till 9, so...
I know.
Yeah.
It's a bit scary outside though, because you've always got people out there.
Oh yeah, because it's right by the bus stop, which is, I
Yeah.
guess, is good for transport. But,
Yeah, but I always like to wear quick clothes, so everyone's always looking at me, which is a little bit stressful.
They're jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, my dad refuses to turn on the heating.
Yeah.
So I wake up and it's so cold, it's not even funny.
We used to live in, well, Mum still does, live in a flat, so it was sort of moderately warm. But yeah, I can't even imagine, like, nowadays.
Yeah,
Like, I have to argue with my housemates about the heating coming on.
I feel bad for some people who can't afford it. Because, like, I'm sat here complaining about the fact that my dad can't turn it on. There's some people who literally don't have the option.
Yeah, true. Although there is a warm homes discount with a lot of companies now, isn't it? Energy suppliers can do that.
And the thing is that it is actually pretty easy to apply, and you only apply once.
Really?
And then they've got your details on the system so that every year they know that they're able to check the details, make sure it's still correct, and
Useful.
make sure that you're getting that every year as long as you are eligible for it.
That's very useful.
That's really good, yeah, because obviously it just so happens that the winter is also when Christmas happens. We want to be able to afford to give our loved ones some gifts and stuff
Yeah,
like that, don't we?
Christmas is that time of year where you especially don't want to be in a position where you got to pick between food and heating.
And it's also, things are going to rise in January as well, aren't they?
Oh, what, the fuel prices?
Yeah, well, I think, isn't there multiple things rising? For also
Oh,
budget as
jumping
well.
to
Yeah,
that.
there's a few things happening, isn't there, in terms of economy?
To my knowledge, it's the energy cap is going up, but so it's the real living wage. Apparently, the benefits cap, so how much benefits people get, is supposed to go up as well.
Nice.
Ooh.
The amount of taxes that some people pay is supposed to go down,
That's right, national insurance,
Yeah.
right? It's going down
Yeah.
from 12 to 10, yeah.
but it's a constant issue. They're trying to increase income for people to go up so they can afford things, but yet gas prices, electricity prices, food prices, that's
Ooh.
still going up.
Oh,
So.
no.
Yeah.
I moved at the wrong point.
Yeah. so it's a bit confusing because they're trying to balance it out and
Yeah.
they can't keep up.
But it's
okay.
definitely a time to be doing your budget because things are looking to be changing, isn't it?
That's a nay and not a yay.
Do you budget?
Yes, I budget.
Really?
Yeah.
That's quite
them
impressive.
young.
I don't think I used to budget at your age, so
I'll
I'm
go, to the
impressed.
I'll go to the shop and honestly, I'll look at the prices and decide between them. Like the other day, I had to get paper for school and I decided to get me a little snack, right? And I had an option between two. One was more expensive, one was cheaper. So I called up my mum. I was like, "Oh, which one do you want? Which one do you like?" So we could all have it. And I picked the cheaper option as well. So
Well done.
I
Yeah.
know.
But
I'm
like
saving.
I swear when I was 15, is that
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I did not have to worry about that. My mum gave me money, I went to the shop, I bought whatever. It's different times, guys.
At 15, I was financially supporting my family to buy food. I was like giving money to cover my expenses.
I just like my money. So I'll go for the cheapest option possible.
So next up we'll be talking about how to scrooge your way through Christmas.
But to be fair though, I know we were talking about this earlier, but apparently hoodies are an investment to be made.
Oh, yes.
I agree.
If you're suffering with the winter cold, apparently an hoodie, bit of
So
like an
cozy.
investment initially, but apparently it does pay off.
Half the time you don't even need your arms in it. You know when you like wake up in the morning and it's really cold and you like take your arms out your like t-shirt and just hug yourself
Oh yeah.
and it's like so warm.
Toasty.
Sam looks concerned.
I don't have a hoodie.
You don't have an hoodie?
No.
Well, I know what
Ah.
you're getting for Christmas.
No.
You don't want an hoodie for Christmas. What do you want for
I don't
Christmas?
have one. I steal my mum's all the time.
What
It's
what does
okay,
everyone
it's
want
okay,
for
don't worry.
Christmas? I think
Travelling stuff.
traveling stuff, okay? Right? Like a tent.
No.
Camper van.
Mini-sized shampoo bottle.
No, because I'm going travelling next year.
Oh,
I would
wow.
quite like to have some travelling bits and bobs.
Yeah.
Cool. Alright. Noted.
Mm-hmm.
What about you,
Anyone
Sam? You're not an Udi.
Actually, no. Last year for Christmas, my parents wrapped up a load of my old toys from when I was a child and like gave them to me. I was like, you're gonna love this. And it was like a Furby that I'd had 10 years ago. My dog really hated it. My dog really hated that Furby.
Well, at least I've got something in common with your dog.
Well, yeah, it didn't go down well. So that was like the joke one. I can't remember what the actually serious one was.
Apparently the joke one
So
was
anything
more
that isn't
memorable.
your own old toys.
Yeah, I'm hard to buy for Christmas.
Really?
Yeah, I've got expensive taste.
Same.
Where is on your wish list?
I stopped doing it because of I always go for really expensive things that are always sold out. So it's like I'll pick something, I'll look at the price, be like, that's a bit too expensive, and then I'll find something which is a little bit cheaper in the same like area of the item, and it'll be sold out. So it's like I just hope for the best at this point.
Yeah, you're gonna get some socks. All right.
They might be fluffy.
Oh, I love fluffy
If you're
socks.
very lucky, you might get
Booty
fluffy
socks.
socks.
I love fluffy socks. I'll be happy with that.
I'm being very basic and I will keep talking about this until it happens. I want an electric wheelchair. I want independence. I just want the ability to be able to zoom faster than everyone else.
We're not doing Secret Santa.
I mean, I'm not getting anyone an electric anything.
It's all I want. I'm quite lucky to still be in that kind of position where I like everything that I need I have. You know, I've got clean clothes, I've got food in the fridge, I've got just about enough to turn the heating on, but my want is an electric wheelchair. And if Santa doesn't get it for me, Evie, what would you like for Christmas?
I want a voucher for some sports massages, please, because I run very badly to the point where I get hurt all the time. So I would like to have a voucher for that, or a massage gun. You can get them. I'd be curious to know what any listeners, watchers, audience would want for
Human
Christmas.
beings.
So it'd be nice to hear.
How do we feel about like doing the episode for next month?
How do we feel about doing the episode for next month?
Yeah, like is there anything that we're looking forward to now that December is coming?
I mean, we will be talking more about Christmas.
Of course.
Yeah, 'tis the season, and Hanukkah.
To be jolly.
To be jolly.
What else is coming up? The new year.
More Doctor
Oh,
Who.
Winter Wonderland.
That's
That's
right.
opened up now, hasn't it?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, we will be actually, for anyone who's on our advisory group or thinking of joining our advisory group, another shameless plug, will be invited to come to Winter Wonderland soon. I haven't set the date yet, but there will be free tokens to be used at rides and at stalls.
It will be probably on a weekend.
That's what you've got to look forward to.
Right, I feel like we should probably go our separate ways right now before this.
Goodbye.